Hello, my name is Steve Shutts. I'm the Chief Executive of UK charity Astriid. Astriid is a charity that was set up in order to connect people who've got long-term energy limiting health conditions with job opportunities that allow them to display their talent and expertise on a part-time, on a remote, on a contracted job where an organisation is looking to tap into their expertise. I'm delighted to say today we've got three representatives of the organisation with me. I'm going to introduce them one at a time in a moment, but I've got Declan, I've got Ed, and I've got Lisa here with me this morning in order to tell us a little bit about the organisation, about their plans for the UK, and about their intentions for recruiting from the UK a team of individuals that's going to grow their business here. So very exciting for us in Astriid to have the opportunity to present this to our candidate pool. I'm going to start by talking to Declan. Declan is in charge of tech talent acquisition in the organisation. Declan's in Sydney, based in Australia. And Declan, let me start with you, if I may. In terms of with me, it's a business, of course, that originated in Australia. You operate from there. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about the organisation and its founding ethos, and bring us up to date with your progress in expanding the proposition around the world.
Sure. So, hi everyone. I guess the quick 2-minute summary is With Me was founded 7 years ago by our CEO, Tom Moore. He was a military veteran in the Australian Army, served as an infantry soldier, and did 1 or 2 tours of Afghanistan before he was medically discharged. And on medical discharge, he started looking for a job in the civilian world, found it very difficult to secure employment. Companies knocking him back for various reasons. Ultimately, the underlying reason was they were citing years of experience as the defining metric for his ability to perform a role or not perform a role in their eyes. Tom broke this problem down as something that was not just a personal experience for him, but quite a common experience for a lot of veterans worldwide. And one particularly in Australia was where we started. But he set about trying to solve that problem of meaningful employment for veterans after their military career. The way that we tackle this problem of trying to create a societal mindset change is through trying to shift organizations to a mindset of looking at an individual based on their potential, not based on their experience. So this is done through the With Me platform. We build a web application that hosts aptitude testing and training courses. The testing is a data-driven way to showcase someone's potential. It removes the need for a resume, and then the courses offer them an avenue to upskill, basically. The success that With Me has been astronomical over the last 12 months since I've been with the business. When I joined, there was 70 staff based here in Australia, and in the last 12 months, we've grown to about 450 staff globally. We stood up our operations in Canada very successfully over the last 12 months, and towards the end of 2021, we began expanding further into the UK. So right now, I think we have about 20 staff over in the UK, give or take. Lisa and Ed are 2 of the best over there. And the next 12 months is really going to be heavily focused on the UK expansion, not just in terms of our consulting roles, but also core operational roles across marketing, HR, sales, tech, data, content as well, because we do produce all the content courses on our platform, or the content for our courses on the platform in-house. Really, it's just a lot of growth about to happen in the UK. Very exciting time for With Me.
Declan, that's brilliant. That's a fantastic description of the organisation, and thanks for that. And you use some lovely phrases there. That you base your employment on potential. It's all about aptitude testing. It's training to upskill individuals as well. Something I'd love to build on, if I can do, with Ed. Ed, just what's clear from that response from Declan is that there is a real alignment between what Astriid are trying to do and what with you and me are trying to do as well. We've been working together, of course, for the last 18 months or so, since the autumn of 2020. But with the opportunity to expand the UK, that's your area of responsibility, as I understand it. You are the partner success executive for the UK. Could you bring us up to date with your thoughts on how you take that concept and that business and bring it into the UK for us?
Yeah, sure. Really, it's a case of, as you and I have discussed many times, Steve, is identifying the invisible talent pool. And that's exactly what With You With Me is doing. We're expanding that in the UK. It has been 10 months now that we've set up shop, and the traction has been enormous. Politically, our model is pushing on an open door. There is a huge demand for not only the social mobility piece that we bring to the party, but also the technical aspects of what we're bringing in as well. So from that perspective, we're very lucky to be hitting a very right market. And no, I think the synergies between what With You With Me and Astriid are doing are enormous. I think we're now looking at a phase where a lot of society is moving from an activism perspective and an activism way of thinking to actually taking responsibility for it. So people are putting their money where their mouth is, and now going, okay, let's actually make a difference to society. Let's harness that talent that perhaps didn't go to university, that perhaps didn't get A-levels or go to the snazzier schools and universities. And that's exactly what we're doing. So it's working very well. And we're in a space right now that growth is accelerating at an enormous pace, which is going to have a huge effect on our hiring.
I wonder if I might just go back to Declan and just build on what you said, Declan. You described a number of the types of roles. Can you give us a couple of examples of the types of roles you're going to be looking for in the UK and the sort of work that people will be doing when they take on those roles?
Yeah, sure. So we have such a wide range of positions, as you said, Steve. The priority positions in the next 2 months are probably going to be heavily focused around the tech roles, particularly in our software development teams or our quality assurance teams, checking the software and the platform itself for bugs and being able to report those and fix those issues that users on our platform will then have a better experience because of that. But on top of that, also sales positions is another focus for us, especially when you're growing a business in a new market. Having someone on the ground locally to time zones to sell the product is a good start. Long term, I think probably after the next 2-3 month period, when the first key pieces really fall into place and we've got those established long-term members in the business to really drive the growth. A number of administrative positions will also come up, and there's quite a large possibility that these will be, both casual, part-time, and even full-time roles. A very key part to any business is its administrative capability. It's all well and good for everyone to be all guns blazing and full steam ahead, but someone does also need to chip in for the admin. It is a thankless task, but something that does need to keep the wheels turning, or always it's necessary to keep the wheels turning in any business. And I think those are kinds of roles that, while they're a little bit more longer term away with the growth we're having, it will be a very key piece and possibly quite a good fit for someone from the Astriid organization who is looking for something that's less intensive and, possibly those few days a week as well.
Yeah, part-time and offering the opportunity for remote. I think what's really exciting about the opportunity of the business, the With You With Me business, it's got a startup mentality coming to the UK, but you've got all the enthusiasm and excitement that goes with that, but you've also got the backing of an organization that's already established across the world and of course got the ability to invest in the UK. Declan, thanks very much for that. I'm going to come back to Ed, if I may, for a fourth question. You're an organisation, as you said earlier, that bases on potential rather than qualifications, and it's a principle you're clearly you support and you're looking to embed here as well. So for somebody who's watching this video and thinks, goodness me, this is the organisation for me, how do I get involved? What would you be saying to them, Ed? What's the process that they'll go through when they come from Astriid as a recommendation, as an individual who's interested in a job? What happens to them then?
I think it's a great user experience. Firstly, the idea that what we initially do is that you jump on our website. It's as simple as that. Jump on our website, register, there's a huge button on the website, register on there. It'll be about 5 questions that are being asked. really about your background and your interest. Once you're there, then you can start our psychometric and aptitude test, which is on its fourth iteration and has been worked on between the University of Stanford and the University of Sydney. And what that aptitude and psychometric test does, it not only gives you your understanding of your cultural fit and which kind of culture or even tribe you ought to be looking into, which is obviously linked to the workplace. But also it lets you know your competencies. And so what we do is we match competencies to specific digital skills. Each digital skill, whether that be low code, RPA, data, cyber, or development, we've got about 35 of them, 35 different pathways. Each of those pathways have different competencies attached to them, and that's what we will do. And at the end of the test report, page 5, you'll receive recommendations, about 4 recommendations of which digital pathway you ought to be looking at. From there, you're on the platform, you can start training, and it's completely free. There is no credit card, there is no return on service to be asked. And get cracking. It's a phenomenal system, and it's not just light training. What we are asking of people is their time. The average course is about 100 hours. They go up to about 180 hours, and that is for free. You're walking away with some pretty impressive certifications as well. So, for example, our cyber training is certified by GCHQ, and you're welcome to jump on, take that, and walk away. More often than not, we will have jobs and roles for people to take on with our clients. And from there, we will then deepen that training over probably 16 weeks. During that period, we are paying you, and then you are delivered to the client for at least 12 months. So it's a phenomenal model. It breaks down barriers, as we said. We are carrying the risk in pretty much every department, both for the client and for the candidate. And it's a good, strong model to say, look, you don't have to have been the academic genius at school, because that's not necessarily a representation of how bright or not you are. So that's really where we're going with this. And the whole idea is that it's being supported by a further £22 million investment into the UK. We intend to hire 200 people between now and mid 2023. And as Declan touched on, we are also looking to create a large Northern Hemisphere with me hub here in the UK to complement our operations both here, where we might go in the future abroad on the continent, and where we are very well established in Canada.
I'm delighted to say that we're joined by a third guest here. This is Lisa Dunkley, and Lisa is joining us as an Astriid candidate, somebody who came to Astriid looking for an opportunity to connect to an organisation. She has and manages her own chronic health condition, but she was one of those who was attracted to the training courses, and particularly the cybersecurity course that's offered by With You With Me. She's gone through that course. Lisa, lovely to see you. What happened then? You signed up to the course from Astriid. Talk us through what happened next.
Lovely to see you too, and hi everyone. So yeah, it was a bit of a whirlwind actually. Like I said, the test in itself is so insightful because you don't realize what talent you have about yourself. You don't realize where your strengths may be. It's especially when you do see the world through chronic illness, you tend to box yourself in very quickly of what becomes what you can do and what you can't do. And even from just the initial testing, you suddenly look at it and you see these results come up and you go, I never realized I could look into that. So immediately it opens up a complete sort of like rainbow of options that you could choose from.
Yeah.
As I said, there's the courses, and you won't spend more than 10 minutes on an actual video content. So yes, the overall course is 100 odd hours. you can break that up as you go. You're not required to sit there for 6 hours. You don't have to attend 4-hour lectures or be there at horrible times in the morning just to appease tutors, sort of like at the colleges and universities, which we've all seen in the UK, to be fair. But they also do boot camp, so the short sort of like 1-hour lectures for things that are practically useful, like cloud foundations and normal business skills that are generally required but are so overlooked and so overpriced, especially in the tech market. But my little secret to passing university and one of my courses was I did the boot camp, and the boot camp in 3 hours told me more than a year at university. But the content itself actually gave you confidence in talking about the subjects and talking about cyber and being able to explore further. And because I generally wanted to explore further after I finished the course, in about 3 months it took me to finish the course, Laura got in touch with me, and from there I met everyone. And we have the 3-step interview process, and it kind of feels like you talk to a lot of people before then, sort of over LinkedIn, over Teams and messaging, email. So you kind of feel like you're part of the family and part of the whole tribe of With You With Me before you even start. And that also brings back to the community, sort of whilst you're studying, they've got the Discord channels and the servers. So whatever course you're studying on, there is a forum with all the students and instructors, and the instructors will generally be there to help you no matter what, because we cover all time zones, so it's very good on that one. And now working here is, I've never known a job like it. And if you thought it was too good to be true, I've been here 3 months. I still think it's too good to be true. This is an incredible company, and the chances for remote work is, if I was doing this job in a brick and mortar company and having to travel to the office, I probably would not be able to do my job as well as what I do. But I can turn around and say, I need to disappear for physio for 10 minutes. And that's not a problem. It's when you're working with chronic illness, there are certain considerations that need to be made. Obviously they're different for every single person, but it's, you have the human experience the whole way with You With Me. It's from the moment you start the interview process, it's, you're not having your CV pass through an automated machine. Someone is there to talk to you, and in fact CVs don't come up at all. It's, they find out everything they want to know through wonderful conversations, as Ed did with me.
Lisa, thank you very much. What a wonderful response, and how great to meet somebody who's gone through the whole process. Really gratifying for us as a charity as well to know that we've got great people like you who are signing up to us, who are then being given the opportunities that With You With Me have created for you in this role. Great to hear, and of course, you know, huge congratulations on getting the job, and congratulations on and good luck for the months and years ahead, because you've got a lot of work to do. That's it from us. We hope we've given you a really good flavour for this partnership, a really important partnership for us in the UK with Astriid, with You With Me. To Declan, to Ed, to Lisa, thank you very much for your contributions. If you're interested as a result of this, then the first thing we'd like you to do is to get in touch with your candidate coordinator. If you don't have a candidate coordinator, or you can't reach their contact details, then any of us at the Astriid team, including myself, the email addresses will be on the screen. Contact us and let us know that you're interested and you want to go to the next stage, and we'll introduce you to one of these wonderful people. Maybe you'd like to talk to Lisa a little bit more about her experience. Maybe you'd like to talk directly to Ed about his plans for the UK, or maybe to Declan in terms of applying for a specific job. We'll connect you to the right person. Thanks very much for listening. Thanks again, Declan, to Ed and to Lisa, for a wonderful endorsement of what you're doing, and best wishes to you for the success ahead. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.